Welcome back. Dealing with a narcissistic stakeholder is the title of an article written by Morna Ikosa that made quite a wave. It has become important to identify and classify stakeholders according to their personality traits, as some personalities have a detrimental effect on an organization's culture, efficiency and productivity. Morna, good evening and welcome. That's quite a strong worded excerpt from your article. What inspired you to look into narcissistic stakeholders?
Thank you so much, Nina, for having me on the show. I think it was really important, coming from my background as a stakeholder strategist, that I felt that what was missing a lot from the discussions when we are classifying stakeholders, that we start looking at personality traits. 2 years ago, I co-authored an article with Lisa on corporate bullying because I myself went through corporate bullying. And a lot of the responses that we received was that the bosses that were bullying these people had narcissistic tendencies. And that's why I just felt that it was important that we really start to identify what are these tendencies, how do these people look like, because some of the times you don't even know whether this person is a narcissist. And I always say that once you're able to identify or name something, you are able then to research it, look it up, and if you feel that you can name it, you then now have ability to empower yourself with information on how to deal with it.
Yeah. Your article on corporate bullying that led you to write about narcissistic stakeholders, what was the motivation behind that article?
This particular one is I was experiencing corporate bullying at the time also, and also the fact that I had just people around me that were being bullied by their pastors, by their friends, and I was just, and that's why I named the article "Narcissistic Stakeholder." So it could be anyone. It's not just the boss, but it could be the mother, it could be the father, it could be the pastor at work, and I was just tired of people being bullied by these people that have these narcissistic tendencies, and people feeling hopeless and feeling that they have no control. And that's perhaps also why my recent article that I wrote last week, I said, you are not a victim, because I want people to understand that even if they're going through all of this abuse, they still have a voice, they still have rights, and they need to know them and act on them.
Mona, what did you find to be concerns and perhaps highlights within corporate culture while unpacking this topic?
Just repeat that question again, Nina.
I was saying, what did you find to be concerns or perhaps highlights within corporate culture while you were unpacking this topic?
You know what I realize is that narcissists, because they're such charmers, right? They're very good at manipulation. They get away with murder a lot of the times because they can manipulate themselves out of situations. And the fact that we lack a lot of well-qualified industrial psychologists in the workplace, it's very difficult to identify these type of traits in our colleagues and bosses. And the fact that our wellness programs in the workplace are not well equipped to help people deal with these type of personalities at work. And I realize that there is really a big gap, and we need to redefine what wellness is in the workplaces so that more and more people can be helped. Because as we've been seeing, mental health has really become a topical issue. It's not even something just for discussions, but it's something that really requires serious implementation.
Yeah. You actually, with that response, also just answered my final comment or question to you, which is, do you think we have enough industrial psychologists in the workplace? And of course, that answer is no.
No, I don't really think so. Just given the experiences of where I've worked and where, they are not enough. And I think that's something that really needs to be looked into in terms from an employee wellness perspective. And like I said, we need to, wellness is not doing some team buildings and, doing some sport activities and all these kinds of things.
Right.
We need to really redefine our wellness programs to really look into these mental issues and look at these characteristics of people with narcissistic behavior, because it is a disorder. And unfortunately, a lot of the people who have this disorder are either aware of it or they're not aware of it. And if they are aware of it, they do not want to go for help.
Yeah.
So they continue to perpetually, inflict pain on others without wanting to get help themselves. So, yeah, I really think that there really is a serious need for industrial psychologists in the workplaces.
Morna Ikosa, always lovely speaking to you. Thank you for your time and thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Nina, for having me.
Well, tomorrow we further unpack this topic with a psychological counselor to give us a health professional's perspective on corporate bullying. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.